Welcome back to the second part of the plagiarizing. And we're gonna do more of these Goyo stories. Let's get back into it. This is the fourth one I made. It's called Threat. And it's kind of funny why it's called Threat, because you see, this guy is not threatening at all. Except for this immunity he has in like the fifth story. But in this, he just like he's not good at all. His name is Bodo, and he is inspired by Angerus. Also, this was written in December 16th, 2017. Let's go to number 4 of the KC Incorporated, the totally legit company that you can order comics off of. And right now, we're having several prints only on Etsy. So, Bodo, this picture's okay, I guess. Well, at least you can tell what he looks like and what he's supposed to be. Story time. After Bureau's defeat, Goyo, decided to stop fighting monsters for several months and go on a vacation. Suddenly, however, on a distant island, not a distant island, it's a distance island, the ground shook and broke apart, causing the monster Bodo to wake up. Bodo was a blue apatosaurus with the horn on its nose, and Bodo had no powers. Geez, you had to explain that? You couldn't just, show that he had no powers? So Bodo decided to swim across the ocean to Neo City. Because Bodo can swim great. When Bodo attacked Neo City, Boss T sent out Goyo and Kerman. Goyo started attacking Bodo, injuring him. Goyo started attacking Bodo, injuring him. Okay, it should have been a comma. So Bodo went back to his island to recover. After a few days, Bodo challenged Goyo for a rematch. Goyo, however, still won. So Bodo quit and Goyo let Bodo live. As Bodo returned to his tiny little island, and Goyo returned to the GDF base, they knew it wouldn't be the first or last time that they would ever see each other again. And there's a watermark, right there. Okay, explanation time. So, this story is more or less the same in the Wattpad version, the Wattpad continuity, I mean. But there's another monster named Carbonicus, I believe his name is called. It's a crab that got mutated, and it's just attacks them, and then Bodo and Goyo work together, and then they become friends and all that good stuff. But in this, Goyo just spared him out of pity, so I mean, good. With a new threat appeared, will Goyo and Kerman fight a tough monster or a lame monster? Obviously a lame monster. And yada, same thing. And then it's a red border, so it's an alright story. Not my best, not my worst. Now we get to take a break. My brother's been bugging me to make a sequel to this. And I'm just I'm gonna remake it one of these days. It's Shoak, the mind-reading snail. You won't find ideas like this anywhere else. And it's by Kaiju Comics, the total legit company. Okay. December 16th, 2017. Okay, I'm just going to say right here. The reason there's so much Goyo in the December, okay, I was really looking forward to Christmas, and I'm obsessed with Christmas. I still am. So I was I can't wait enough for Christmas. So I'm going to make my own gifts, and I'm going to give them myself. It'd be weirder if I wrap them up, but no. Yeah, that's where this came from. And I did a lot of this at school, and had looks, of course. And then there's Shoak, a pretty cool looking snail. I like him. Pretty cool. Looks kind of cute, actually. Shoak. It's not Shoak, it's Shoak. Shoak, the mind-reading snail. And he debuts in this one story, which I think I got lazy because I don't think it's good. Long ago, a meteorite hit a desert, and it contained 2 black pearls, which one scientist took and hid for research in science. However, one of the pearls soon began to grow, killing the scientists. I literally ripped off that Ultra Q episode of Namigon. If you're not sure who Namigon is, let me go show you. I'm going to show you exactly who Namigon is. This is called a Namigon. It's an Ultra Kaiju. So, yeah, and in the episode, like, they find these pieces of gold, I think, and they like overheat, they like react and all that stuff. So I plagiarized another thing. Man, I'm great at this. I should be a thief. No. Okay. Killing the scientist and bursting out of its egg. It started killing on a killing rampage, using its mind-reading powers. Ooh, I'm gonna tell them what you did. A lot of people died because their minds just couldn't take that somebody knew all their personal information. Man, this kaiju knows blackmail. Could do blackmail and all that cool stuff, okay? Causing the fighting force to get involved. Oh yes, this is in this continuity. This isn't the Goyjoi attack force, the Goyjoi defense force. This is the fighting force. The can't stop it. Right? So yeah, to get involved in launching a deadly attack at the monster now called Shoak. Unfortunately, it proved unsuccessful. Eventually, a brave scientist came up with a machine called the Salt Beam, claiming that this will wipe out Shoak. Unfortunately, the machine needed to be modified for 3 months, since it needed a power source. Not a power source, it just says, I believe it just says power source. So, there's just something called power source. It's not a power source, it's literally just called power source. It needs power source. For all you could know, it's a strong dude. After 3 long months, the scientist told the fighting force that he was on a tiny island and to take salt canisters with them. The pacing's really great. So they threw the salt canisters at Shoak, melting the monster. After that, one of the scientists looked back at Black Pearl and said, what about this? So clearly there's going to be meant to be a sequel. I don't know if I'm going to make a sequel because I may not. I mean, I have to first remake this because this sucks. There's no good pacing in it. There is human characters, if you want to call it that. There's just not a whole lot of stuff that happens in it. Well, it's all over the place. And then the back it says, this isn't Goyjoi or associated. It is simply a monster story. This also won't be the first. Yes, it isn't the first. Trademark Shoak and Goyjoi are owned by Kaiju Comics, which is me. And green for the borders. So yeah. That was Shoak. Thank you, me, for making Shoak. The only kaiju in existence to just kill you with its mind-reading powers. I mean, there's probably more, but oh well. And now we get to number 5, Goyjoi. This is called Goyjoi in the Mission. Okay, and I don't... Oh my gosh. Score number 5, made December 16th, 2017. And it has 2 monsters on the front. Piran and Togero. Togero is supposed to be a lizard. And based off of a scene in this one movie where they go in a cave and then eat mushrooms, but there's just this lizard after them or something. I don't know. And yeah, and then Piran's just like a scorpion because I was like, there's not enough scorpion kaiju. There needs to be more. So I made a scorpion kaiju called Piran. Be funny if there's a piranha, but he's not. Piran looks alright, I guess, but Togero, man, I don't like Togero. I mean, he's cool as a kaiju, but design-wise in this, he's not that great. Also, the Wattpad version has several different things with it. Like, they go to a different city in the Wattpad version. I don't think this happens in it. And there's more monsters in it. And then they use a thing called the X-Taw to go through the mines, the mushroom place. And then there's Kermit in it. Oh, by the way, this is Kermit's last appearance for a while because I killed him off, I guess. So, let's get into this epic story. Shortly after the defeat of Bodo, Goyo and Kermit were sent to investigate a cave near the edge of Opton Village. Okay, so maybe the same village is in this. Okay, never mind. Little did they know, the cave is owned by Togero, the lizard monster. So when a scorpion monster, known as Piran, came to attack, Togero just used his simple venomous horn on the tip of his nose, which paralyzed Piran. Now helpless, Togero feasted on Piran's remains with a delighted crunch. Oh. Yes, delighted crunch. When Goyo and Kermit arrived, Kermit shot a ray at the tip of his head. Unaffected, Togero leapt at Goyo and bit his arm, paralyzing Goyo. Kermit then fought Togero, landing no punches in response. The gray lizard tried to bite Kermit's arm. However, though, since Kermit is a robot, it didn't work. A robot. So Togero dug a hole, causing it's Kermit. I just didn't space the words out great. Kermit to fall into it, damaging Kermit's circuits. Togero then started ripping Kermit's sick circuits out, which is inspired by a scene in Godzilla the Animated Series, from the 90s, which was a sequel to Godzilla from 1998. And the first episode, or I don't know what episode it is, but Junior just starts ripping out the circuits of the reanimated Godzilla, and yeah, that's what happened. So suddenly Bodo appeared and stabbed Togero. Then Bodo fed Goyo purple mushroom. Okay, yeah, this is what's in. My brother will be delighted to hear this. Purple mushrooms, restoring him from the paralysis. Bodo then threw a rock at Togero, smashing his brains, then killing him. The three monsters then ventured out of the cave, returning to the GDF base. Suddenly, a golden dragon came out of an old rock. Wow. I think this is a good story for action-wise. There's no humans, really. It's pretty epic. Okay. Sent on a mission by the GDF, can they return safely? Find out. On the next episode of Dragon Ball GT. And there we go. Yeah. Goyo and Threat. They're a good addition to the Goyo collection. Now we get to this one. I got a few things I could probably say about it, since there is a Wattpad version of this as well. It's called Goyo and Goyo's Rival. It has an alternate name on the Wattpad version of the Wattpad continuity, but I don't know the name of it. Also, this monster's name is Drakus. However, though, after I made the cover, my mother informed me that there is already a kaiju called Drakus, so I added an extra S. I solved the problem. And, yeah, December 16th, 2017. And the mind control helmet. Can you guess what that's going to be for? Yeah, I can't either. I totally don't realize what a mind control helmet can do. Okay. The Golden Dragon went to Neo City and started attacking everything, which Goyo involved. I should say which got Goyo involved, but doesn't. Also involved space weirdly. Goyo was alone because Kermit was getting repairs since the incident with Togero. So yeah, Kermit's not in this. Goyo began shooting his laser eyes, so the Golden Dragon shot his gold laser eyes. The Golden Dragon then flew into Goyo, knocking him unconscious. Later, the Golden Dragon flew off into the distance by Bodo's island, waking Bodo up. Bodo then tried to attack the Golden Dragon, but it was knocked into the water. Yup, Bodo's cameo. The GDF now called the Golden Dragon Drakus, after an old myth and Krathon. No, it's Carthon. It's Carthon mythology, where a meteorite hits Carthon, not Krathon, and a golden dragon causes mayhem. That sounds like an epic idea for a Pokemon game for some reason. I don't know why, but it just does. Maybe because all of the Pokemon legendaries all cause mayhem and destruction. I love Pokemon games. Okay, where were we at? Soon later, Dr. M catches Drakus, takes him to his lair, and puts a mind-controlling helmet on Drakus to increase his power. Dr. M sends Drakus to Neo City to attack. Goyjoi wakes up and fights Drakus, who now has a beam on his mind control helmet. After a long battle, the helmet breaks, and Goyjoi beats up the confused Drakus, sending Drakus fleeing. Goyjoi returns and realizes that Drakus will be back and he will be stronger. Goyjoi then vows to become stronger himself. So yeah. By the way, can you guess what Drakus is supposed to be? I'll give you one hint. It has 3 heads. It's constantly in the Godzilla universe, and it's golden as well. Yeah, I ripped off King Ghidorah, and I am not ashamed of it because I think my ripoff is pretty great. It has 1 head. That makes it different. Drakus actually is supposed to look like a Yu-Gi-Oh card that actually which I used like for reference for this drawing, but didn't work. It was a dragon card. If I can find my Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, I will show it out in notes in the closet. Never mind. I'm never showing that off. Okay, but let's read the back. A terrible golden dragon has appeared. Can Goyjoi stand his ground? Find out. Well, he can. And yep, 2017. Now, I'm going to tell you about the Wattpad continuity, which I think is radical. Okay, so instead of it just appearing out of nowhere, what happens is these aliens called the Krathonians. I should have called them the Carthonians. Okay, and so they come, first they're alluded to in the 4th one because they mutated a crab. They find a dragon, and that actually they have a dragon. They sent to destroy the city, but Dr. M and Dungley catch it, and then they put a mind control helmet on it, and then Dr. M goes nuts, and she just like sends it after the aliens, and then like the aliens have to hope that Goyjoi wins because the dragon is just trying to destroy them too, and luckily Goyjoi does win. So yeah. One day I'll read that version, but I mean, that's a really great version in my opinion. It's better than this thing, but this is alright. Okay, now we're on the 7th, which is the first 2-parter I made. Goyjoi versus the South Pole, also known as the Darkest Day. Now you want to know why it has 2 titles? Because I thought it'd be cool. That's it. It's literally Goyjoi versus the South Pole / the Darkest Day. Darkest Day actually sounds pretty epic. Darn it, I need to like use it as a subtitle for one of my books. Sounds awesome. Anyways, there's just so much different in the Wattpad like continuity that I just don't really want to go over it. But long story short, there's a lot of monsters in this version, and there's just like a whole nother plot with aliens. And then there's Icemen from planet YX27, I think they're called. Yeah. So basically, here's a kaiju in this one. The Jamero, which is a jellyfish kaiju, because there's not many jellyfish kaiju. And then there is Kirin, which is a whale thing. It has a whale's head, but it's like bird kind of. Very creative. The Goyjoi number 7, KC Incorporated. The best comic book company ever. Step aside, DC. Step aside, Marvel. Step aside, Image. You ain't got anything on KC Comics. Kaiju Comics are where it's at. That's where you get all the cool stuff. Okay, let's do it. I'm getting 2 of these. Okay. I don't know if you can hear that, but that's just like sands in my brother's room. While at a dark day in the South Pole, 2 monsters have started fighting. Their names are Jamero, a blue jellyfish with golden eyes, and Kirin, a black whale monster that stands upright with golden eyes. I have an obsession with golden eyes. After a long battle, Kieran fires an ice beam from her mouth, causing Jamera to fall into the icy waters. And it doesn't appear for the rest of the story. Soon after, Goyo appears and starts fighting Kieran. Kieran fires an ice beam at Goyo, but Goyo is unaffected. Goyo begins fighting Kieran, and after many hours, Goyo seems to have defeated Kieran. When suddenly it rains, causing Kieran to spawn lightning and make her more powerful, making her ice beam more strong, causing Goyo to freeze and harden, lowering Goyo's body temperature. Yeah, I took a scene from Gamera versus Barugon where Barugon like freezes Gamera with his beam, and Barugon's so awesome. Like, I need to get a figure of Barugon because Barugon is just like better than Baragon. I mean, they're both brown, four-legged lizardy things with a horn on their head, but I mean, one's better than the other, and I think it's Barugon. But Baragon's pretty cool too. Where was I at again? Oh yeah. Kieran then goes to Aaron City, which is carried over into the Wattpad continuity, of course, and attacks. After a few days, Goyo's temperature is rising once more. So Goyo attacks Kieran and sends him back to the South Pole, where he fights him again. Kieran tries the ice beam again, but Goyo dodges, then rips off Kieran's tail and beats him with it, and knocks Kieran in the icy waters. As Goyo leaves the South Pole, Goyo thinks this truly was the darkest day. So yeah. Wattpad continuity, a bunch of monsters, and a lot of cool stuff. I should read that version one of these days. I'll show it to you someday. But yeah, now let's read the excerpt in the back. With Goyo at the South Pole, will Goyo survive? Find out. And it's fluid because to go along with the theme of water, kind of. So pretty cool. Oh, but there's a sequel, and it's called Goyo vs. the South Pole Continuation. And I ripped that straight off of an unmade film called King Kong vs. Godzilla Continuation. Okay. And Garuma, which is a walrus. I like that walrus drawing. There we go. December 17th, 2017. So, getting closer to Christmas. Goyo number 8. Okay. Continue. Okay. Before Goyo can leave the South Pole, he encounters a walrus-looking monster known as Garuma. The two begin to fight as Goyo demonstrates his abilities. Garuma demonstrates some as well of his abilities. I didn't write that right. Demonstrates. No, wait, I did. I just can't read it. Okay, some as well. One of his abilities is one similar to Kieran's, known as the Ice Beam. As Goyo is about to win, Kieran appears, now with his tail gone. Goyo begins fighting once again, though now, since Kieran is here, they are both stronger and have a new ability, Super Ice Beam, which unfortunately freezes Goyo. The two monsters then begin punching and kicking Goyo. Goyo, now frustrated and with little strength he has, shoots a beam from two horns on the top of his head. However, the only effect it does is destroy one of Garuma's horns. Eventually, he does break out of the cube and begins stabbing Garuma, causing him to bleed and die. Then he takes Garuma's tusk and Kieran's head and slices Kieran's head off, causing him to fall over and die. I think I was into Ultraman Leo. I think, yeah, Leo's the most violent series, and how there's so many head decapitations. I was like, gotta put one in there. Gotta put a decapitation in there. It's necessary. Goyo then proceeds out of the South Pole to GDF, where Kerman is fixed yet again. So yeah. And yeah, with Goyo still in the South Pole and fighting a new monster and Kieran, can he make it out? And it's blue again. Along with the theme. Yeah, I think it's more violent in the version that is on Wattpad, the Wattpad continuity, And there's also like another monster, and these two are just like part of the plot because I was just like, I'm not gonna make the same story again. I gotta add another monster in there in the mix. So yeah, here we go. And this one, I actually, not this version, but one of the versions, I actually tried to submit into a writing contest, and it didn't work. The librarian was not very happy that it was RA written. It's called Goyo in Bug Trouble. Goyo number 9, December 17th, 2017. And it has the following kaiju. Rhyterodon, which is supposed to be a rhino, but does not look like that. More like looks like a depressed bug pig thing. And Queen Termite. And termite workers. Yeah, the water damage just really got in this one a little bit. Okay. Deep in the jungle, a monster named Rhyterodon, who looks like a rhinoceros, was walking when he walked into Queen Termite's grasp and was eaten by the termite workers. Not even a sentence in, he's just dead. After there was no food left to eat, they moved to Neo City, where they caused havoc. Even the Gaff couldn't fight her. 2,000 termite workers. So this plot's similar to number 3. I don't know why I made it like that, but there's like 2,000 of these, and they're like the size of like buses, and that's, just think of how much that is. Okay, the termite workers are the size of buses, and there's like 2,000 of them. Kind of just blows my mind how much I made. Like, that's just chaos. So Goyo and Kerman came out of the GDF and fought half of the Queen Termite's workers. So roughly around, no, it wouldn't be, 1,000. So when suddenly Queen Termite ordered her termite workers to attack Goyo and Kerman. They surrounded Goyo, but Kerman easily killed the swarm with a ray on top of his head. Then killed all the ones surrounding and layering Goyo. Goyo then fought Queen Termite, nearly killing her, when suddenly she used her ability to spawn lightning, harming Goyo, causing her to now have the advantage. Goyo does not like lightning. He's like a lightning rod, apparently. Goyo then started fighting and beating up Queen Termite, eventually throwing a cell phone tower. Now, this was written in this was to take place in 1966, and there's a freaking cell phone tower. I don't think they had those back then. I think it should have been like a radio tower, but it's a cell phone tower. At Queen Termite in the chest, killing her. And this is based off of a scene in Godzilla Final Wars when Kamekarus is thrown into like a little electric tower or whatever those are called. But this one's a cell phone tower, which makes it a lot more funny. Later, when Goyo and Kerman were approaching to the GDF, an egg hatched, revealing Queen Termite's son, who ran off Neo City, back to the island where Queen Termite lived to grow and become strong and defeat Goyo someday. And that is one of the setups for another series that would be preceding this. So, but it wouldn't be for quite a while. There's like 35 of these plus like some special stories. So we'll get there. But for now, we have a new monster with Kerman fixed. Can they defeat her? Find out. Is that my cat? No, I don't know. Okay. But yeah. And this one's also blue, so I mean, I just like blue for a while, I guess. Actually, I think I made this in school. And then one of my friends was just like, and then somebody I knew was just like, I better find one of your books in like a bookstore when I grow up. So, I don't know. Okay, now we're going to get to the one where it's actually very apparent that I loved Godzilla and I was just like, robbing some things. Goyo in a slimy situation. And it's number 10. It's December 17th, 2017. And we have a doppelganger of Goyo plus, well, we have the slime. We have Slime Goyo, which carried over into the Wattpad continuity. This was also in the Wattpad continuity. And this is Barabino. I don't know how I got the name Barabino. I looked up a Japanese name and I just like just looked at it and I was just changed it around. I wish I remembered. But do you notice anything similar about this kaiju? I'll give you 1 second, and I'll make it so you can see it better. It's basically I traced over like the Bandai Creation headshot. So yeah. Now I really like stole something now. Okay. We're back with Dr. M now. In Dr. M's lab, he has created his best creation yet, a Goyjoi clone in development. Suddenly, he added in a wrong chemical. Okay, so it's basically the Powerpuff intro, causing the Goyjoi clone to mutate in a blob. Now we have the blob. It then escaped the lab. The blob then took the form of a slimy Goyjoi, causing people to dub it Slime Goyjoi. Wait, wasn't it Slimy Goyjoi? No, it's just Slime Goyjoi. Never mind. Slime Goyjoi wreaked havoc, causing the real Goyjoi to get involved. The only problem was it knew nearly every of Goyo's attacks. Laser eyes were green. Mouth beam were green. It also had acid spit. Strangely, it grabbed Goyjoi, attempting to absorb him. That was a lot of words. However, Goyjoi used his strength to burn Slime Goyjoi, causing Slime Goyjoi to mutate into his normal form, a big blob. So we got the blob. Still retained all of Goyo's abilities, and it seemed like Goyjoi may have lost. Oh, come on, Goyjoi can't fight a blob? Oh, wait. Never mind. It's Birabino he's fighting. Okay, never mind. That makes sense. The GDF called it Birabino. Yeah, it's Birabino. So Birabino seemed to almost have killed Goyjoi. Even though pretty much he died, like, once before because it said resurrected, but maybe that was a mistake on my part. When all of a sudden, the sun came out, enduring Birabino. Together with the sun rays, Goyjoi was able to melt Birabino into a single puddle, which ran away. How can a puddle run away? And also, wouldn't the sun be out if it was daylight? I mean, what is this? A series of unfortunate events where everything's just like depressing? What is this universe I created? Goyjoi returned to the GDF while Dr. M began weeping. I can never win. Then vowing that one day he will create a perfect copy of Goyjoi, which is foreshadowing. This version, the Blob-Pad continuity actually has the blob eats, it gets fed by a lady, which I had inspiration from a story, and from a story that I read, and then she gets eaten. A few people get eaten. Some people get eaten. Just like chaos, and death, and murder. Yeah, and that's what happens in that, and then it's pretty much the same. Has Dr. M created the ultimate clone to defeat Goyjoi? Find out! And then it's green to go along with everything being green. So yeah, this is going to do it for this episode of reviewing my Goyjoi things. We have gotten from issue 4 all the way to issue 10. So, pretty great. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Check out my Wattpad for the other versions that are superior and actually better written. And remember to check out my Discord, I guess. I don't know. So we can talk about kaiju or whatever. And there's also some other things on there. I don't know. Yeah, just enjoy. I'm just going to end this video. But let's just tease you for what's next. A whole bunch of bad drawings.